Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report on this Fish Fest Day, Saturday, March the 29th. We are here in the dealership today. We got pros, we got food, we got raffles, we got stuff, we got vendors. Demo rides yesterday were wonderful. But today, Fish Fest, come on by, get yourself some Falcon wings, some Skeeter beans, some Bass Cat punch, and the beverage bar, and then come on and get some snacks and cookies presented by Icon Boats, our newest member of the Bucks Island family. We will be right back with what the guys had to say in case you're being irresponsible and going fishing, but we'll be right back with some information from them. Hey, before I get into the fishing report, some of you are going to skip the most important event in fishing this week to go fishing, which I have no idea why, because we're going to have Fish Fest. This man right here is going to be here to talk crappie fishing right here at Bucks Island Fish Fest this week. But if you're going to skip it and go fishing, Lee, what would they want to do?
Well, the biggest thing is, hey, you can go out and catch some fish right now. You can get out and enjoy the morning, and then come on to Fish Fest that afternoon. So you can have the best of both worlds. But the fishing has been a little tough this week on Weiss, on the crappie end of it. We've had some high winds again, but we're still, like I said, the fish that we're catching are good fish. Doing a lot of long line trolling. You can about do anything you want to do. You can get up tight and throw a float and throw on wood cover. You can use live bait and sit there with a float with minnows, or you can get out on the main river and try to catch them deep. So you can do a little bit of everything. Graphing a lot of fish. I'm using my hummingbirds right now. Got a lot of fish coming in off the river that are getting into these bays. They're kind of in a holding pattern right now. They're not ready to make that move and really jump up on the bank. They're staying out a little deeper, but you can do a multiple of things right now to get bit. It's just finding those fish that won't eat.
What about the bass bite on Weiss Lake? What are you seeing there?
Bass has been pretty good the last 3 weeks on our bass end of it. You're looking at 18, 20, 21 pound stringers are coming in pretty regular. Crankbait bite's been good, and starting to pitch a lot of plastics. These fish, especially in your creeks, getting on wood cover, they're getting up there skinny. They're in that shallow water, and the fish are coming in trying to clean the banks a little bit. So the bass bite has been really good on Weiss. You're looking at some of the tournaments we had. It's taken 18 to 20, 21 pounds to win the last couple of weeks here on Weiss, and it seems like everybody's catching fish. The fish are getting shallow. They're getting around wood cover. They're trying to get in there to clean these banks off. So the bass bite's been real good.
What about Neely? We got about 30 seconds. Let's wrap up with Neely. I know we were shortchanging it, but give me what's going on there.
Neely has been pretty good too. We'll talk about the crappie end of it. You're down on the lower end. A lot of the guys trying to get out of this wind again, but just getting tucked into some of these bays, tucked into some of these high banks. It's got some wood cover on it. Getting up there, throwing a float. You can get in there too. I know the scopers are looking at them and pecking at them right now. But Neely also has been pretty good on the crappie end. We're catching a lot of fish down there. Neely's looking strong right now.
All right. Well, brother, we appreciate everything. We're looking forward to seeing you here at Fish Fest. We'll talk to you soon, brother. Hey, before we connect with Tracy on some Logan Martin and Lay Lake fishing, don't forget, folks, today is Fish Fest at Bucks Island. We're here 9 to 4, going to have raffles and fun. And Tracy's going to be here today as well. We are taping this on Thursday so that we're all engaged for Fish Fest. Come see us, free food, all that stuff. Tracy, let's talk about Logan Martin. What's going on down there?
Yeah, Logan Martin and all the Coosa River. I mean, it's fishing pretty good right now. We'll talk bass first. The Logan Martin bass are still waiting on that TVA guy to flip that switch and make the water come up, but they're eating.
Yep.
They've migrated just a little bit into the creeks and all, but you can kind of catch them shallow on the river bars, and you can kind of move into the creeks a little bit. They're heading where they're going to be in 2 or 3 weeks from now when they do pull that switch up. the spots are biting good on the rattle traps. They're chasing a lot of baits, your blade baits. You'll see some of that activity a little bit closer to the river. You get in those pockets, those fish are still up around, the shallow water, even though they haven't really set up to spawn yet because the water's still going to come up another foot or two. But the chatterbaits, the frogs, the top water type actions, buzz baits, your typical springtime fishing up in the shallows is going on. Crankbaits, anything shallow. You can slow down if you want to drag a little bit, but they're biting. Most of the crappie guys that I'm seeing at Logan are targeting the brush piles. They're dropping the floats over the trees with the minnows, some jigs over the trees. I'm gonna say 6 to 8 foot. I don't think that those crappie really moved up to spawn just yet, but they're at least targeting those shallower fish is what I'm seeing mostly going on at Logan. At Lay, a little bit different scenario at Lay. You can actually already see some of the bass spawning at Lay. You can get up in the shallows. You'll see some of the fish cruising, looking for the beds. You'll see a lot of the buck bass. You can catch both of them up there, targeting them, as a bedding fish with your soft plastics or jigs, whatever. If you've got a established bed there, you can do the fan casting, going down the bank, just not really looking for the sight fishing, but those fish are up there on the bank at Lay. The grass bite seems to be good year round at Lay. So the swim jig bite in the grass is really good right now for the bass. I'm not seeing the crappie guys up there shallow like we do at Logan. I'm still seeing them out there a little deeper, long lining, a little bit more of the deeper water crappie fishing. So that's kind of what I'm seeing at both lakes.
Yeah, it seems like the crappie a little behind this time of the year. I guess it just kind of didn't warm up fast enough for them to come up, but they're starting to show up now.
That's what I'm seeing too. In these prettier days, bringing more and more fishermen out there, so you're gonna see the crappie and bass bite pick up, and the number of fishermen out there chasing them growing as well.
Tracy, as always, brother, we appreciate all the insights and we'll talk to you again soon. Hey, Tom is on assignment in Boston, so we're not able to connect with him today. And we got Tracy Robinson going to fill in. We hope he fills in with some good shoes, but we're going to give it a shot. Tracy, I know it's Fish Fest Day, but there's still going to be people out there taking advantage of this nice weather. What's going on Guntersville?
Well, Lake Guntersville, it's going to be one of the more crowded, popular weekends of the year. The Sealy Big Bass Splash is kicking off up there. Registration tonight, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's going to be covered up with boats this weekend. You're going to be a crowd anywhere you go. So the bite is crazy right now at Guntersville. It has been I guess this January. Right now, you can do a little bit of whatever you want at Guntersville. Those guys are still out there scoping, catching those 30-pound bags out there, shaking the minnows around in front of them. There's fish up on the absolute dirt up there that you can target, spawning fish. I caught a couple of fish off the bed this week, some males and females. There's fish that spawned in February that you can get out on those grass lines. They haven't really made the move to summer pattern yet, but they're out there on those secondary grass lines, 6 to 8 foot chatterbait, crankbaits, rattle traps. You can still catch those. There's still another wave of fish that's coming up too. So you're getting fish crossing, in that 6 to 8 foot category. Some spawners, some pre-spawners, some post-spawners. So I'm catching a little bit of both there in that range. But a little bit of whatever you want right now. I tend to probably lean a little bit more towards the shallower bites. Seems like there's more fish kind of coming than there are going. So that's probably where I would focus right now. I was suggesting someone to go up there, is take your traditional chatterbaits, rattle traps, and kind of target those 4 to 6 foot. And if you happen to see a bed up there and you want to go play around with the fish, get up there and drop a plastic or a jig or something on it. So that's kind of what I'm seeing from the bass at Guntersville right now.
Yeah, it sounds like you could do just about anything up there if you really wanted to. What about the crappie bite? I know the crappie fishermen got to be going. Are they at the culverts yet? Are they
They
at the
are.
bridges? What are you looking for?
Seeing them in the creeks right now, still chasing them. Those fish really haven't moved up shallow either, but they're catching some big boatloads of them. Dan, I've seen tons of pictures just in the past few days of 50, 100 crappie, big old slabs, 12, 15 inch crappie, and they're eating and they're really catching them up there right now. But it seems to be more the creek and the jig and strolling with the jigs out there right now.
Yeah, seems like it's a good time to get out there and to fish for just about anything. Have you seen any stripers rolling yet?
I haven't, Dano, but I've probably been up too shallow for a striper where I've been playing around that. But I'm sure there's some of that activity going on as well.
Tracy, as always, brother, we appreciate everything. We'll see you this morning at Fish Fest, and we appreciate everything that you do for us. Hey, for those of you that are wanting to check us out, don't forget Fish Fest is today up here at the dealership, 4500 Highway 77 in Southside, Alabama. Going to have a bunch of pros, food, raffles, vendors, demo rides on Friday, all kinds of things. But hey, I'm filling in for Gentry Gordy, who's got a little bit of a family emergency this week. Want to start talking about Lake Martin. Gentry reported just your basic spring fishing 101. You're going to want to check points, secondary points, things leading into spawning areas. Top water baits are going to be good. Slow moving walking baits, poppers, maybe even a whopper plopper or two, and a frog might be good this time of the year. Right over there is what's happening is as the water's coming up a little bit and it's warming, those fish are starting to move into those spawning areas. Some of the fish are still not going to quite be along the way too far there. And then you might look a little deeper with maybe a nice big Texas rig worm or a football jig or something there, a casting jig around the brush out on the edges of those deeper docks leading into the spawning areas. Um, it's one of the ways that you can kind of maybe have a 1-2 punch, get some good fish early, shallow, just inside the points towards spawning areas, and then maybe get one of those big pre-spawn females that hasn't quite really started to move in completely there yet. And that's a good way to do that. Jordan Lake, spotted bass are still going to be dominated in the current and up river. You're going to want to take your basic, bladed jigs, square bills, a little bit deeper diving crankbaits, maybe even a jerk bait in some of those kind of situations. Around those covered, look for current breaks, uh, rocks, laydowns, points, some of those kind of things. They'll congregate around some of that. And then if you're looking for a largemouth bite on Jordan Lake, you want to look around docks. You want to look towards spawning areas. You want to look for maybe those mid-depth flats. Spinnerbait's been producing really well in windy conditions over there at Jordan Lake. One of those kinds of situations that you want to make sure that you're looking at something that's moving bait, big presence, a little bit dirtier water, something that draws those largemouth bites. And also to touch back onto Martin just a little bit, you're starting to see some bedded fish up there a little bit too. One of those things that you may keep your eyes open for. You might find a good one locked in. Jordan, maybe not so much, and it might not be so easy to see. But as Gentry mentioned last week, some of those lighter spots in the backs of the pockets, those are quite possibly bedded fish, and you can just slow down and fish for some of those. But that's your report for Lake Martin and Jordan Lake for today. Thanks to Gentry Gordy for the information, and we'll check in with him again next week. Well, that wraps up our Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, March the 29th. Thanks to everything that you guys do being a part of Bucks Island. Again, come on by and see us today. We're going to have a great event. Got a big bait seminar, got a crappie seminar, we got the bass seminar. Oh my gosh, do we got stuff to do today? We hope to see you here. You are the best part of Bucks Island, and you are the reason we do what we do.